Bitcoin's fight, CZ versus Gary Gensler. On today's show, we'll be discussing the biggest fight in crypto right now, among other things. My name is David. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. I'll be one of your co-hosts, and today, like every single day, we're coming at you live from our beautiful studio in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. If you are new to the channel, we welcome you to our community. We also want to let you know that we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take boring, old, regurgitated information. We make it fun, exciting, engaging, thought-provoking, fun, exciting, and all the fun stuff. Thank you, Rocco. On today's show, we are still sans Rob. I did go see him yesterday. He's in great spirits, guys. He wants me to give you guys his love. He wants to thank everyone for thinking about him and sending prayers. He is doing a lot better. Still going to be in the hospital for who knows how long, at least for the next few days. But we'll keep you guys updated. But we want to thank you guys for all your support. And to join us today, to help out, part of the channel, my friend, your friend. Can we get a drum roll? Wait, drum roll, bro. Hold on.
We have a drum roll.
Drum roll.
We have a drum roll.
I was going to do a Bruce Buffer intro for you, Forrest. Rocco ruined it. I bet you wouldn't ruin it for Robin, though. Anyways, Forrest, man, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Again, we appreciate having you on. How you doing?
You're doing well. Can't complain. Market's a little boring, a little choppy, but there's always something going on.
Always something going on, bro. Always something going on. Well, there's a lot of things going on, and some of those things are channel sponsors. That's how we brought to you today's show. Today's 4K stream is brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business and when you maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, you want to hit up Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. The customer service is top notch. They will get on the phone for hours and walk you through anything. Trust us, we've done it before. Also, today's show is brought to you by top layer 1 DeFi protocol, Radix. Radically better DeFi. Big, massive upgrade coming, the Babylon upgrade on September 27th, which is this coming Wednesday. Lot of new dApps, upgraded wallet, new tokenomics. So we're excited for that. If you want more information, visit radixdlt.com. And with that being said, let's put some smiles on your faces, my friends. And Rob, if you're watching, put a smile on your face too, bro. All right. So, Forrest, have you ever faked anything to like get sympathy or get something? Like, have you ever?
What kind of question is that?
Hold on, bro. Let me give some context. Have you ever faked not feeling well so your wife can give you extra back scratches, or fake being sick to not going to work, or whatever the case may be?
I don't know. I think still it's a weird question.
I don't think so. Not if I can. Not that I recall. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Well, we know in the animal kingdom there is one animal that has mastered this technique, and it is none other than the squirrel. And just watch how he plots his own death. Nah. Oh, that didn't work. Let me go ahead and just pop this open and crawl under it. And nope, that's not believable enough. Let me go ahead and move this to my neck and.
That's funny.
That's pretty funny, right? That was a good one.
Wow.
Now, but don't worry, Mr. Squirrel, because there's a dog-bulance on the way.
That's actually funny. I gotta give it to you.
You can give me some credit for once. Thank you,
That's
Rocco.
fine.
Appreciate it, man.
That's
It's about damn time you're coming around to me, bro.
Every 10,000 video, you get one. That's fine.
Hey, man, I'll take it. Better late than never, but never late is better. I believe someone said that. And then Forrest, this was tweeted from @Bitcoin. By the way, I wonder who controls this Twitter account, @Bitcoin. Anyways, so talk about shrinkflation. And Forrest, which of these are you feeling the pressure on most? Is it Fritos? Is it toothpaste? Is it raisins? Or is it toilet paper?
Wow. I feel like we used all 4 of those things. We don't have any Fritos in the house right now, but that is the brand of toothpaste we use. We
Crest?
have 2 of those cartons of exact raisins in our pantry right now, and we use Charmin. So this is bizarre. Like, they were really targeting me with this shrinkflation. I guess
knew it was
we
for
got
you,
hit
bro.
with it pretty hard. We're feeling all of this.
They knew I was going to show you.
It definitely wasn't for me. There is
Definitely
nothing.
was not for
There is
Rocco,
nothing
no.
I got that the 4 things I don't have one.
Me and Rocco can't afford Charmin. We use Angel Soft. Anyway.
I got the same paper from Home Depot.
Yeah, we use one-ply toilet paper. By the way, that's the worst toilet paper. One-ply. What is the point of even that, bro?
It's an illusion.
It's a stupid. All right. Man, this video clip. They're gonna talk about. So there's a Senator Bob Menendez who just got charged, him and his wife, for bribery. Okay, they took gold, actual physical gold, to help push along certain things. And well, why? Well, you might be saying, well, that happens all the time, right? But this is also the man that said back in 2022 that introduced a bill to mitigate the risk of El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption, citing it opens doors for corruption. Let's take a look, as reported by CNN.
New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, who is the chair of the
House Foreign Relations
Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He's being charged with corruption-related charges for the second time in 10 years. He was charged and indicted before, and there was a hung jury, and now he's being charged again for something completely different. Let's get right to Kara Scannell for the details on this. Kara, what are you learning?
Yeah, John, so the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Lower Manhattan has announced that they have brought bribery charges against Senator Menendez and his wife. Now, according to the prosecutor's office, that they allege that Menendez's wife had received hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes that they had then used to help 3 New Jersey businessmen and the government of Egypt. This investigation has been going on for several years, and sources have told CNN.
Stop it there. It's funny, the pot calling the kettle black. I think that's the saying, right? Boris, what's your initial reaction to this? I know you're not surprised.
I
right?
mean, it's not surprising. Like we all know that this stuff goes on. It's like, honestly, I take that back. It is surprising that like this is actually being covered by the mainstream media. Like I'm kind of surprised here. Where are all the other instances of this that are undoubtedly going on? And what did this guy do to? Well, where did he step out of line to actually get called out on it? When this is probably happening times 50 with tons of other senators. So, I mean, glad he's getting called out for it, but I hope the rest of the people, the rest of the senators, and the rest of our politicians that are doing this get called out for it too. We'll see.
Interesting. He took actual physical gold versus the dollar. Forrest, every time we see an issue we see on Twitter or on X, Bitcoin fixes this. And I know I kind of say that jovially, but does something like Bitcoin fix it? I mean, everything's transparent. It's on the blockchain. You can't move funds without, if you have the correct wallet addresses that are tied to people. Maybe political contributions should be this way. Maybe any money outside of what you make, whether it's from speaking engagement, whatever the case may be, has to be done on the blockchain so it could be tracked and people could be held accountable. Does Bitcoin fix this? What are your thoughts on that idea?
I don't know. I think it's a double-edged sword, right? There's two sides of that conversation. A lot of people, where we want more transparency for the transactions that are going in and out of the pockets of our politicians for things like this. We would love to have the transparency of the blockchain, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that champion the idea of financial privacy, and that's something that I can get behind too. So it's difficult. It's especially difficult when you bring in politics and stuff like bribery and things of that nature, because at the end of the day, I do think everyone's entitled to financial privacy. There's just obviously problems that arise with that, because you can do shady things like this and not be traced
Forrest,
if you have privacy.
Can't I argue that some job positions, some titles, some companies, if you make it to a certain point, you give some of that privacy up, like serving the public as a senator, as a congressperson, like being a publicly traded company, you have to submit all your financials and paperwork. Can't you argue that, hey, you want to start making rules and laws and sign legislation and represent the American public? Sorry, this is what it comes with. Isn't that fair?
Oh, 100%. Particularly when it comes down to political positions, right? Public servants, 100%. I do think that should be a prerequisite and something that you kind of sign away when you decide to serve the public.
Awesome. Guys, before we move any further, we got 94 live viewers, 44 likes. Help us out. Hit the like button. Be active in the chat. That's how YouTube knows that, hey, this stream is popping. Let's bring more people in here. Also, we have an exciting announcement at the end of the show you don't want to miss, so stay tuned for that. Also, we'll be taking portfolio submissions for our new segment next week, Rate My Portfolio. We'll give you more instruction on that towards the end of the show, so make sure you stick around, hit the like button, engage in the chat, and if you want any TA done on your favorite altcoins, throw it in there because we're going to get into the charts here in a second. Before we get into the charts, let's get into this tweet from James Seyfert. Bloomberg ETF analyst Bitwise has withdrawn their application to convert their Bitcoin futures ETF into a Bitcoin and Ethereum futures. So they already have a Bitcoin futures. They applied to change it to a Bitcoin and Ethereum futures, and now they have retracted that and say, nope, we just want to remain exposed to Bitcoin. Now, Forrest, I tend to dig deeper into things that some people say, hey, there's nothing there. But I dig. Call me, I don't know, I was going to say something funny, but I lost track of it. But either way, the point I'm trying to get to is, does this say something on a larger scale as far as, does this signal maybe the SEC, after their loss to Grayscale, maybe isn't going to approve an Ethereum futures ETF? Because they pretty much said, we're ready to start looking at these applications. We saw an inflow of Ethereum futures ETFs. Then Grayscale happened, and now we have this. Does this tell you something bigger is at play, or do you think this is just a decision one company made?
I think we're going to find out very soon. I believe it's October 3rd. I'm actually looking for the date right now. I probably won't be able to find it on the fly, but I believe October 3rd is the date where we'll find out more about these Ethereum futures ETFs being approved. It could be something here. It could be them trying to push through, trying to keep this, separate. I think it makes sense from a financial product standpoint to keep the two separate and not be in the same ETF. So maybe they're just going to have this ETF be Bitcoin futures and they want to file separately for an Ethereum futures ETF and increase the odds of approval by keeping them separate and clean. It could be something as simple as, administrative cleanliness and organization here. Maybe there is something deeper going on where they have a feeling that the SEC won't approve an Ethereum futures ETF. But either way, I think we're about 2 weeks away from finding that out.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning is they know something that we don't know. And so they're saying, look, we don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste our money. If it does take money to change or apply for these ETFs, I don't know the answer to that, but I can assume that, hey, they're maybe hearing something or because, these TradFi companies, they've been around for so long. They got people they can speak to in multiple different branches of government and the regulators like the SEC and the CFTC. So maybe they're hearing something. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like at this point, Gary Gensler is a cornered animal that is like holding on for the last breath of life he has before he either gets removed or resigns or out of office. So who knows what that's going to look like. All right, real quick, a couple things on macro here. This is from Charlie Bolello. This is the first, and I know you talked about this yesterday for us, that the traditional markets were tanking. This is the first 5% pullback in the S&P since March. Tis but a flesh wound with the index still up 13% on the year. Forrest, can we stop here and take a look at the S&P, the SPX? What is it? Are we in for more pain ahead? And how do you think that bleeds over into Bitcoin and crypto? I know a lot of people are saying, even the people that don't think the bottom is in yet are saying we are closer to a bottom in crypto than we are in the traditional markets. Well, what does the S&P show, and how do you think that bleeds over into crypto?
All right, so a couple things here. We are still very much in a macro uptrend for the S&P 500. This was our bottom back towards the end of last year. We talked at length about forming a bottom around the timing of the midterm election cycle, and we talked at length about 6 months in the 6 to 8 months after the midterm election. We would expect a 15% return out of the market, and that's really what we got. And right now, we're at a very critical juncture. It's a point where I'm not comfortable saying one direction or the other, because in the short term, you do have this kind of nasty head and shoulders playing out. Coming into this prior resistance. And that's bringing us back down into this trend line. We break the trend line, we could come back down, and we could do something similar to what Bitcoin's doing right now, and start breaking trend, and potentially putting in some lower highs and lower lows and start moving back down. So it's definitely something to be aware of. But what I do want to talk briefly on for the S&P 500 is that this is, again, our seasonal analysis has really been very useful and on point so far. We talked about the midterm election cycle analysis that really helped us nail the bottom and expect a rally when a lot of people were thinking that we were going to go doom and gloom and deeper into a recession. But we throw on this monthly time frame indicator and grab just the vast majority of the data here. We can see in the top right corner that September's historically the worst month of the year for the S&P 500. And then you get this Q4 up here. I know it's probably difficult to see. I wish I could zoom in. But Q4 is historically a very positive quarter for the S&P 500. And I know that it gets more complex than that. But keep in mind that this sample of data that I've grabbed keeps it factors in the recessions. It factors in the large pullbacks in the S&P 500. It factors in all of the data. And on average, we do expect to do pretty decently in quarter four of any given year. So a pullback in September is not out of the question. It's not that strange. In fact, if we go to our September open was this little peak over here. We were down 4% since the open of September. That was our last little peak. And we would expect September to just be a down month here. So, ultimately, there's some key levels to keep in mind without getting too in the weeds. Obviously there's some recessionary red flags, some indicators that are being flagged. One of those is high oil prices rising again, which could make inflation difficult to battle for the Fed to battle, and we may have to keep a restrictive Fed funds rate for longer, which would not be good for the S&P 500's growth. At the same time, we do have a very inverted yield curve, and it's been inverted for over a year now. But that being said, it's usually historically not until that uninverts that we actually see the S&P 500 really start to crash hard. Yeah. So there is a case to be made that maybe we go up and retest the all-time high, or even potentially put in a new high before actually seeing some of those harder landings, a harder landing in 2024 at some point. So these things take a lot of time to play out, and we just want to take it one step at a time. But right now, I'm heavily depending on our historical time frame analysis and saying that, hey, historically Q4 is pretty positive, and what we're seeing right now is not out of character for September. So we want to keep that in mind and look for a local bottom to potentially form here towards the end of September, moving into a bullish Q4. And at the very least, we may see a strong bounce here on this trend line that allows us to get through Q4 without further downside.
And for us, along with yourself on this channel, we've discussed multiple times how Q3 is a bad quarter, September is a bad month. And so if you've been following along and watching, you might have been able to position yourself. What I'm trying to say is watch the show. Also, I do want to bring up one point as well. We know a presidential election is next year, at the end of next year. And the last thing the current administration wants is for the stock market to completely tank while they're campaigning or towards election time. And we know there's no debt ceiling going into 2020 until 2025. Who knows what they could potentially do? You get people excited and happy. Oh my God, the stock market, I'm making so much money on this stock. Oh yeah, I like this again. Don't fall for it. We also have this from This is tweeted from Christoph Barad at C_Barad. Treasury buyback plan will boost market resilience, U.S. debt officials tell Bloomberg. U.S. Treasury expected in 2024 to start regularly purchasing its bond for the first time in 2 decades. I have been beating the drum on countries either dumping or not repurchasing U.S. government debt and what that could potentially mean if we continue to print money and don't shrink the M2 money supply. More of that money stays in the U.S., then you have something called hyperinflation, which would not be good for anything. And this is part of the reason why I've said on the show, and I will continue to say, I will always hold on to my Bitcoin for this very reason. Any thoughts on this, Forrest, before we jump into the crypto markets?
No, I got to do a little bit more research on this particular topic to really give an informed opinion. I haven't seen this headline yet.
I respect that. All right, let's get into the crypto markets. But before we do, today's crypto market segment is brought to you by I Trust Capital, the company we trust to set up a Roth IRA account. If you want to do the same and you want to hodl your Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and precious metals like gold and silver to hedge against the government doing stupid stuff like what we just mentioned, you're going to want to open an account with I Trust Capital. If you use the link in the description of our video, this video right now you're watching, you'll receive a free $100 once you fund your account. Now, let's take a look at CMC, CoinMarketCap. Where's Bitcoin? Wow, $26,581. Flat on the hour, flat on the 24, and pretty much flat on the week. Fear and greed coming in at 39, which is considered fear. Almost a neutral though, guys. Yay. The total market cap is holding barely over $1 trillion. That coming in at 1.05. And then volume is down 32% to, we're like, Forrest, I know you trade a lot. $22 billion in overall crypto volume. That's like extremely low, right?
Yeah, volume's been very low. And side effect of that is you're going to see exchanges really starting to struggle. Exchanges want high volatility. They want high volume. That's how they make their money. When that's not present, you really start to see them advertise really hard. It may pressure them to do things to make money that are not the up and up. So low volume is definitely not great for the space. It's definitely it's not. It frequently will lead to kind of further drawdowns.
Yeah. So just be careful, guys. Remember, we talk about this all the time. Exchanges used to exchange your crypto. Wallets used to hold your crypto, just like your wallet holds your dirty fiat currency. Now, again, Bitcoin 26.5, ETH still under $1,600. We do have some news from JP Morgan. They're not happy with Ethereum Shanghai upgrade. We'll get into that here in a little bit. BNB XRP at 51.5 cents. That is up 4% over the last 7 days. USDC at $1. Flat across the board on all time frames. Doge is at 6.1 cents. Everything is flat. Forrest kind of brought it up at the beginning of the show. It's kind of boring, right? Kind of boring. 24-cent ADA, $19.35 Solana. Telegram coin is in the top 10. Tron, DAI, Polygon. You know what slipped a lot to me? What's moved up a lot is Chainlink. I have been massively bullish on Chainlink. This is probably my favorite project outside of Bitcoin going into the next bull market. I think just what they're doing, the team, the longevity, the tokenomics, the staking. I mean, everything is just lining up. And Chainlink is the gold standard, man. They're the gold standard, and now they're moving. They're integrating things outside of just an Oracle service. I'm excited for Chainlink. I think this thing could get up to over $150 in the next bull market. Call me crazy, I don't care. And then as far as crypto bubbles, give you a better representation. We have on the daily, Radix is up 8.4%. Maybe we'll take a look at a Radix chart. Curve is up 9. For the love of God, please go away. Algo 3.4%. Hex is up as well. Some of the losers: Rollbit, Toncoin, Thorchain, DYDX, and Caspa down 3.2%. With that being said, I want to stop here. Forrest, can we take a look at XRD at Radix? Obviously, they're a channel sponsor. We had their CEO on the show yesterday. What's the market structure saying on Radix, and what are some key levels to look out for as far as support and resistance?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's my Radix chart. I actually have it already built out because I did send it out to the Sistine Research subscribers as potential play to look for pump here into the Babylon upgrade. So what we're looking at is we've run our margin pressure levels off of this prior low back here in March of 2023 before we had a big run up. And what we found is that we've had this large pullback, this large drawdown, and we're into this rounding bottom here. But it's all been centered around our 3x long margin pressure level. That's where the market can start pushing into the to XRD on 3x long leverage while maintaining a liquidation point below this swing low. Meaning, if Radix were to crash all the way down to 3.59 and put in a double bottom, you'd be fine not getting liquidated on your 3x long leverage. For some of those longer term swing traders that stack those positions, that's an important level to keep in mind, and it's an important support level. So we did kind of straddle this level. We deviated below it, we reclaimed it and found support on top of it, and now we're starting to push back up into our catalyst here with the Babylon upgrade coming next week, September 27th. We covered that earlier in the week with the CEO on this. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That's IMX. Let's go back. The CEO came on, I believe, 2 days ago to discuss on this channel that Babylon upgrade, and the target is simply this resistance point here. So not getting too greedy, not getting too crazy. You've got a potential for a 27% move up into this catalyst. I do expect more and more people to probably pile in. As long as the market can stay stable, we very likely see some upside here for XRD into this catalyst.
And I do want to mention as well, guys, if you are a Sistine Research member, Forrest did send out a full breakdown with all the details, everything. The charts. I'm good right on the mic. Okay. Everything. So if you're a member of Sistine Research, you already got this information, and what you do with it is your thing. But thank you for that, Forrest. Can we did we get any submissions, by the way, Rocco, for Solana? Okay, Forrest, can we take a look at Solana? We do have do we have Solana news today? We don't have Solana news, but we know a lot of big partnerships, the Visa thing. What are your thoughts on Solana, where we're at? We know we kind of dispelled the FTX sell-off rumors. Everyone, people just report the headline. 1.1 billion is going to be liquidated, but it goes deeper than that. Not all that's available. What is Solana saying? And once we get past this FTX dump, what is your most bullish scenario for Solana at the height of the next bull market?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we zoom out here kind of on the 4-hour chart. We had this big recovery. We had a capitulation down to around $12.30. We ran it all the way up to $32. And we've been in this downtrend. And part of that's just being in a downtrending market. The other part of that is kind of having that FTX liquidation on the tape, right? Pushing Solana's price further and further. Everyone was talking about $6 Solana to $10 Solana in the event of this FTX liquidation, reading the headlines, about 1.1 billion Solana being sold in the open market. It was not the case. And even so, through that FUD, Solana bottomed around $7.50 or so, a little under 17.50. Sorry, I think I said 17.50.
I wish.
And we kind of held on this double support line that we've got marked out. And since then, we've recovered a couple of key levels. We've recovered this key range between $19.20 and $20, right? And we've also broken through this downtrend level, this logarithmic downtrend level. We've finally broken through. What we are trying to do is a frequent reversal pattern. And that is your inverse head and shoulders, right? Coupled with your bump and run. Your bump and run is when you just break above your downtrend line, back test it as support, and then run. So it just kind of creates a bump and then a run. So that is a common reversal pattern. They could absolutely fail, especially if Bitcoin goes down here, but we are testing in this support. This is actually, in my opinion, a decent place, a decent place to take a long position. I'll be hunting for a long position if we come down to $19.20. Keep that stop loss right there. And for this one in particular, we'd have probably 2 take profit targets. You would take the vast majority here, if not all profits. The next target would be up here towards probably 2150, not getting too greedy towards this resistance zone up here. But I do think that we're likely to get a bounce. We've seen some support come in with these wicks around this level. Obviously, if we break down, you want to get stopped out, right? And then we probably back on our way down to 1750 to kind of retest that support. So could obviously go either way. I will be taking a long around $19.20. As far as, look, it's funny you mentioned Chainlink earlier. Look, if I had to, and I don't give financial advice, I can't give financial advice. But if somebody was like asking me like, hey, how do I structure a portfolio for 2024 and 2025? I would probably say 30. I'd probably, it would have 4 coins. It'd have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Chainlink. Those are my 4 favorite cryptocurrencies that I think have the most positive upside in the next market cycle. So look, my base case for Solana, and I'll go to actually a different chart. I'll go to a chart where I've kind of got these fractals, mapped out, and we'll go out to the weekly. And I think I shared this very briefly at the end of the day yesterday, at the end of the stream, just kind of showing the fractals that we've seen in previous market cycles for various things like Cardano and XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is Solana up here. And we're at the point where, hey, we're at an inflection point. We get this Bitcoin ETF. We could really start to see Solana ramp up. It's followed the Ethereum 2018 fractal very closely. And we're just in kind of this time capitulation space where in the next 3 to 6 months, we would expect this to start ramping back up in the event of another bull market type event. Now, obviously, I've said, look, I'm bearish if we don't get the Bitcoin ETF, but if we do get the Bitcoin ETF, I'm pretty bullish, and particularly bullish on Solana. I'm putting out a deep dive on Solana for the Sistine Research members and explaining why it is that I'm so bullish on Solana going into next cycle. But a lot of it has to do, and I want to go to a more cleaner chart. A lot of it has to do with simply retesting this $75 resistance. So my kind of bearish case, my underperformance case for Solana is simply that we come back up and retest $75 in the next bull market. And that is still a 3+X from where we're at right now, almost a 4X from where we're at right now. And then, in the case of overperformance, I actually do think that Solana has vast upside to new all-time highs, which a lot of people say, Solana is not going to all-time highs. That's what they said about Cardano last cycle. They said Cardano will never go back above $1. It'll never go back above $1.50, and it went above $3. So, look, times change, and I'm not saying that Solana is going to an all-time high, but I could absolutely see a scenario in which it does. I will be prepared accordingly. Underperformance for me, though, looks like a retest of $75, and that's still a 3 to 4X from where we're at right now. Going into a bull market. Now, obviously, the big assumption there is that we will indeed get another bull market. I'm comfortable with that assumption. That's something that you have to decide for yourself. I think with a Bitcoin ETF coming down the pipeline and a Bitcoin halving in 2024, we very likely do get another bull market at some point in the next 2 years.
We better get a friggin' bull market. The hell?
So
I see something pink on there, Rocco, on the thing. It says CB49. Is that a super chat?
hold on. Yes.
That is a super chat.
Hold on. Let me see. Maybe. Yeah,
I haven't seen her in a while. My boy Billy dropping $50. Said, for Big Rob, get better, bro. Billy, we love you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We appreciate all of you that support this channel. Guys, let's get the likes up a little bit. We're not bad, but we can always be better. Tell my kids. You guys are my kids right now. Guys, we're doing a good job, but we can be better. We just got to put the work in, okay? Forrest, thank you so much for those charts, man. Really appreciate it. I don't think, let's get the chat's opinion. So Forrest's 4 coins that are his favorite going into the 2024-2025 bull market: Bitcoin, ETH, Chainlink, and Solana. What do you think about that? And then what are your top 4 coins, if you can only have 4 in your portfolio going into the next one? Also, speaking of portfolios, while we're on this segment, I'll just go ahead and say it. We will be picking a new portfolio to rate next Tuesday. And so there's 2 ways to submit. The first way to submit is join our Discord. There is a channel. There's a portfolio review channel. You can submit it there, or you can DM Crypto Billy if you want to stay anonymous. We don't need the amount of money. We just need the percentages. Okay, you can take a snapshot. You can give us the percentages. And the only other thing we ask is just give us a brief statement. What is the goal of your portfolio? Are you looking to cash out on the next bull run? Is this a 20-year investment, 10-year investment? Give us a little bit of context that when we rate your portfolio, we have a little more context. If you don't want to do it through Discord, you can directly DM us on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1. And if you want to stay anonymous, just say so. We will pick one winner. So we'll tease it on Monday. We'll post it on Twitter. And then Tuesday's show, we will be rating it live. And so, yeah, that's something fun we're introducing for the community. So hope you guys like the segment. And then, yeah, let us know what your 4 coins are and what do you think about Forest 4 coins. While you're doing that, let's do this. Let's talk about the NFT market. It's no bueno, man. Sales over the last 30 days on Ethereum, down 40%. On Polygon, down 45%. On Solana, down 15%. Immutable, down 3%. Bitcoin, BNB, Flow is actually up 30%. But everything's pretty much in the green, in the red. And then we have this as well, NFT trading volume by chain. You can see just a massive spill off. The height over the last 1 year time frame was a bit over 350 million. We are under 50 million currently with all chains included. Obviously, Ethereum still dominates. Forest, where are we at in the crypto in the NFT market? What's your outlook? Are there any projects you kind of have your eye on that if they dip a little more you might buy, or is it just way too risky right now?
I personally think it's way too risky. This reminds me of the ICO bubble back in that we had back in 2017, where you had just a lot of unproven use cases, a lot of vaporware, a lot of promises that are very. And I think there's a lot of legitimate projects out there that they're in the arena. They're trying things, right? They're trying to be on the cutting edge of technology and create new use cases and experiment with interesting things. But a byproduct of that was bringing in a lot of speculation, and we haven't seen anything emerge that's just as far as use cases go that is worthy of the valuations that these things once had. So I do think that there's a market for NFTs. There's uses for NFTs. But how you actually go about valuing those uses in a market like this is quite difficult, especially if we have more downside ahead or more sideways chop. I do think the NFT market as a whole and digital collectibles and like blockchain gaming NFTs will have their time. I do think they will bounce back eventually. Maybe we even get another bubble eventually. But I don't think it's until we see stronger, healthier speculation in the core crypto markets, being Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big majors, the fungible tokens, not even the meme coins. I'm talking about the fundamentally strong crypto tokens, infrastructure stuff like Chainlink. I think all of that needs to show strength and bounce back before we can see some of the more speculative things like the NFT market bounce back. I think the NFT market has been in a very lagged cycle. Where we saw it peak months, 6 months after. I think Bored Apes peaked like 6 months after or 4 months after Bitcoin peaked. And I think we're kind of bottoming out 4 to 5, 6 months after the crypto market bottomed out with FTX. So I think it's just kind of following the crypto market cycle. It's just, 6 months lagged. So we'll see if a bottom forms here, and maybe in 4, 5, 6 months, assuming we start to see the crypto market tick back up, maybe in 4, 5, 6 months, we see some of that liquidity come back to the NFT space.
Yeah, for me, I agree. It's a little too risky. We don't know what the hell they're going to look at. We don't even know if the NFT space is going to look even remotely close to what it did in the last cycle. So for me, I think there's way better places to put your money than some of these NFTs. I mean, I've had stuff that was at 10, 11 ETH that's down to like 0.1. I mean, that's pretty damn bad. And so I'm not jumping into any NFTs anytime soon. I want to see how the market plays out. But if your risk appetite is extremely high, you might be able to, if you believe Bored Apes are going to go back to 80, 90, 100 ETH, They're sitting at 25 right now. Not something I would recommend, but hey, it's your money. Do as you please. Let's move on. Binance. Binance and CEO Changpeng Zhao asked court to dismiss their SEC lawsuit. We have CZ versus an eagle. I love eagles, by the way. Eagles are cool animals. Anyways, CZ and his crypto exchange Binance have filed a joint motion to dismiss the U.S. SEC's lawsuit against them. Both Binance Holdings and CZ claimed that the SEC had overstepped its authority in the lawsuit against them. In the 60-page petition, lawyers for Binance and CZ accused the SEC of failing to introduce clear guidelines for the sector ahead of its lawsuit against the crypto exchange. It says it is clear that the SEC's lawsuit has no foundation in the currently enacted securities laws. In attempting to claim regulatory power over the crypto industry, the SEC distorts the text of the securities laws, reading the word contract out of the statutory phrase investment contract. So saying they're pretty much just interpreting it as they see fit. In addition to Binance and CZ's petition, the American outfit of the crypto exchange Binance.us, legally known as BAM Trading, also reportedly sought the dismissal of charges in a separate 56-page filing made on the same day. Then we had this as well. This is from cryptointelligence.co. SEC faces setback as judge denies immediate access to the Binance.us software. The SEC encountered a setback in its pursuit of immediate access to Binance's software during a hearing held on September 18th. The SEC had filed a motion to compel Binance to provide detailed information and make its executives more available for depositions. Judge Lord Farquaad, presided over the hearing and expressed reluctance to grant immediate access, stating that he was not inclined to allow the inspection at this time. Instead, he suggested that the SEC should formulate more specific discovery requests and engage with a broader array of witnesses. Now, Forrest, I'll kind of leave it more general for you as far as this fight with Binance and the SEC. For me, and I'll just kind of give my 2 cents here real quick. For me, I don't think it's going to stop the SEC if they lose this case or it gets dismissed. I don't think it's going to stop the SEC from going after our space, but they're going to be more selective on who they go after, right? Instead of looking at, oh, we think they did wrong, the first thing they look at now is, well, how much money do they have? Because you see them going after easy targets like celebrities who don't want to deal with it, who have the money, who can just fork up. But they're starting to understand our industry is not just going to lay down and pay a fine unless they absolutely have to because they don't have the funds to take it all the way to court. And so for me, what I think is going to happen is they're going to go after more of these smaller crypto projects like Library Credits who might not have the money to be able to go to trial and court and fight the SEC. What are your overall thoughts on this whole situation for us?
I have 3 opinions on this. And they're pretty straightforward. And I don't know necessarily what the outcomes are. But I think first and foremost that it's extraordinarily likely that CZ, and I don't have necessarily proof of this. I just think it's very likely. I think it's very likely that CZ and Binance US probably broke laws and have done shady things and maybe commingled funds. Maybe misappropriated user funds at some point. It would not surprise me to find out that they have done things that are illegal. Whether or not, you get into like the compliance of selling unregistered securities, I don't necessarily, buy the idea that the SEC can just come in and call all these things unregistered securities. My second opinion is I do think that Binance is very likely solvent. I think they have dominated the market share for crypto trading for such a long period of time, that they have a ridiculous amount of money. And I think that's a large part why you've seen BNB coin not go down. I think they've probably been artificially propping up BNB coin to dissuade shorters from coming in and trying to pile in and push BNB token down. Of course, I do think there's risk there, but I also do think that there is a coordinated. My third point here is I do think that there's some form of a coordinated effort against crypto and against the crypto incumbents. The crypto incumbents being the major exchanges, that being Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance. I do think that whether it's orchestrated by the SEC, orchestrated by the U.S. government, or orchestrated by BlackRock and some of these other large asset managers that are coming into the space and want to take market share. I do think there seems to be a coordinated effort to take out or to harm or to, in other ways, take market share or harm the market share of these crypto incumbents that have had a head start over some of these larger traditional finance institutions. So how this all plays out is, to me, uncertain, but those are the three things. I think they've probably done illegal things. Despite that, I do think they're very likely solvent. I don't think that they're insolvent. And I do think there's a coordinated effort to take out the incumbents. And those are the things that I feel pretty strongly about. But I am uncertain as to how exactly this all plays out.
Yeah, well, that remains to be seen. But one thing I will say as well is I definitely think CZ and Binance are one of the companies that have enough funds to fight back against the SEC, as obviously we're seeing. And so, hey, man, the SEC might be taking L after L after L. Will that change anything? Who knows? Hopefully it does. We're sick and tired of Gary and what he's doing to our space. Now, let's move on to some other news. Bybit is leaving the UK. United Kingdom, say bye-bye to Bybit. In Q2 of this year, the UK Financial Conduct Authority introduced draconian regulations for the marketing and communication strategies of crypto-related businesses. A major derivatives exchange, Bybit, has become the latest victim of increased regulatory scrutiny. Bybit announces that it will cease operating in the UK due to increased regulatory pressure. Starting from October 1st, Bybit will no longer be accepting account opening applications from UK customers. Also, active users on Bybit in the UK will no longer be able to deposit funds, open contracts, or initiate other operations starting from October 8th of this year. Now, we know, Forrest, I believe, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Bybit was your major exchange that you were doing all your trades in. And we know they started doing the KYC thing. What are your thoughts on this? Do we need like the top countries to come together and adopt something similar because crypto is so borderless? Or we're just going to see companies like Bybit and Coinbase and Binance just go ahead and pick winning countries? Hey, your regulation is fine. We're going to build there. We're going to bring economic boom to your country. Or you think these countries eventually are going to get their stuff together, either come together, do something that makes sense on a global scale, or just realize, hey, this thing is here to stay. We need to capitalize on it.
My thoughts on this is I don't have a problem with KYC for centralized exchanges. And in fact, I'm actually pro KYC for centralized exchanges just because it's going to reduce, cases of money laundering through exchanges. And we've seen, that be a problem in some like Russian exchanges and offshore exchanges. So I don't have, it's not the KYC I have a problem with. What I have a problem with is the laws of the United States that say that Bybit is not allowed to service me as a customer and offer me leverage, right? Why is it that I can go into a casino and gamble? I can go buy lottery tickets. I can go and do all of these things with my money, but I can't trade on leverage. I can trade crypto. I can buy Bitcoin. I can buy Ethereum through Coinbase and these US-based exchanges. But the second I want to add a leveraged instrument, I'm not allowed to. Even though you technically you can go on Robinhood and buy out of the money call options on you take on a crazy amount of leverage in the stock market. But for whatever reason, I'm not allowed to take on leverage through a crypto exchange. That's the thing that I have a problem with. I can gamble. I can go and play on online. I can go bet on sports. I can do all of these different things with my money, but it seems like a illogical place to draw the line for me. So that's the problem I have with it.
And you brought up options. Trading options is like trading 100x leverage, right? You control 100 shares of a company for the price of one share. So it's the same thing. Downside is limited in options. Same thing if you do isolated margin or isolated margin. Yeah, leverage. Right. Yeah, if you do isolated leverage, you're capping your downside, but you have unlimited upside, just like options. I'm just saying, what doesn't make sense to me is use this as an opportunity. Put some guardrails in place. If you want to leverage trade on a centralized exchange, fine. But if you make money, we're going to take our taxes, which is fine, right? We pay taxes on everything. I'm just saying, from a government's point of view, they should look at this as an opportunity. Like, hey, there's a lot of money flowing in here. Let's try to get some taxes. I don't know. But usually none of what the government does makes any sense to me. So surprise, surprise. All right, let's move on to Ethereum. Before I move on to Ethereum, I want to give a quick shout out to the chat. To all of you here, thank you so much for watching. It's been a great week of content. Next week's going to be even better. I also want to give a big shout out to the mods who continue to keep the conversation going and keep things in order. So to all you moderators, thank you. Thank you very much. Also, thank you to Jimmy as well, just because he's Jimmy. I appreciate it. All right, Ethereum network activity rather disappointing, said JP Morgan Chase. This comes after the Shanghai upgrade. Well, what do they mean? What do they say? Let's find out. The bank's report, spearheaded by Nikolaus, that last name, states, quote, the increase in network activity has been rather disappointing. JP Morgan's findings indicate a 12% decline in Ethereum's daily transactions since the Shanghai upgrade. Additionally, there's been a nearly 20% drop in daily active addresses and an almost 8% decrease in TVL in DeFi. Even though staking surged by 50% post-Shanghai, enhancing network security, JP Morgan expressed concerns that the share of liquid staking protocols such as Lido remains uncomfortably high, raising questions about centralization. Horace, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on what JP Morgan is saying? And the last one was of interest to me. A lot of the liquid staking share being on Lido, does that mean it's more centralized? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so a couple things going on here. So taking that point from the Shanghai upgrade, obviously your TVL since then is going to be lower because a lot of that TVL is denominated in the Ethereum token, which was at around $1,700 to $2,000 at the time of that, or right before and going into that Shanghai upgrade. Currently, we're sitting at I believe, just under a $1,600 price point, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I think you've got it up there, $1,592. Right. So we've got a lower token price. So, of course, TVL is going to be lower. So that's just kind of a byproduct of the market coming down a little bit. Also, you've had a lot of speculation and value and liquidity kind of wiped out just from being in a long bear market. So I'm less concerned about the transactions being down. I think that's just a byproduct across the board of a bear market. The Lido stuff is concerning. I do think that we'll start to see other liquid staking derivatives pop up. We've already seen like Coinbase Ethereum, Rocket Pool Ethereum. I think it's in the best interest of people that own Ethereum to start staking elsewhere and to spread out and naturally decentralize. If we get to a point where Lido is dominating 50+% of the ETH, then I do think we'll start to see that kind of automatically that incentive kind of automatically kick in, and we'll see less. We'll see it kind of take care of itself.
Forrest,
I'm not terribly worried about it.
Can you explain in layman's terms? I feel like. And I'm very guilty of this, as we talk about things very confidently because we understand it, but maybe someone doesn't understand it. Can you just in layman's term explain why it would be a negative for a staking protocol like Lido to have 50% of the staked Ethereum?
Yeah, so the staked Ethereum is essentially, and I will butcher this explanation in my attempt to kind of explain it in simpler terms, but imagine rather than a proof of work protocol where you have, miners deciding, coming to a consensus on transactions, you have validators, and those validators get votes depending on how much Ethereum is staked with those validators, right? So if you get to a point where a single entity such as Lido has the majority of the staked Ethereum, they get the majority of the votes, right? So they could potentially band together and, push certain transactions through, manipulate the market in certain ways. And you have, more centralization for the entity of Lido and less decentralization overall. So, a higher concentration of voting power for, one entity is never a good thing. So you want to see You want to see more decentralization. You want to see it it's called a Nakamoto coefficient, right? The number of entities that kind of have to band together to do something nefarious is your Nakamoto coefficient. So with Lido, it would take maybe Lido and maybe one or two other entities to band together to steer the direction of ETH. Whereas with many protocols, you'd have I don't know what the number is for Bitcoin, but it would take multiple miners. It would take 2 or 3 mining entities banding together to control the network. So rather than one single entity.
I think that was a great explanation. You need to give yourself some credit. Yeah, guys. Obviously, the whole point is for it to be decentralized, equal voting. Well, not equal voting rights, but more spread out versus, like Forrest mentioned, just isolated and compacted into one staking protocol or one validator or whatever the case may be. And so that is why decentralization is a big thing, because you don't want someone like Lido having that much power and control over protocol proposals, changing the way the mechanisms work, the consensus, whatever the case may be. So, Forrest, we kind of talked about this before the show. We have we're doing an exciting giveaway. I don't know if we want to share any details. I'll leave that up to you, but we will be doing the giveaway on either Monday or Tuesday, and it's a nice one. I think you guys are going to appreciate it. Do you want to shed any light on it for us, or should we keep it a little secretive?
Yeah, we'll give more details on it later, but we'll be giving away some form or fashion of a Sistine Research subscription to a lucky Sin City crypto community member. So we'll come with more details as far as like how to enter and what exactly the prize will be. But want to give back to this community and Sin City Crypto, and David and Robin have done so much for me by always welcoming me on this channel. It'd be great to be able to give back in some way. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, man, it's going to be dope because you're going to have access to some of the most in-depth research out there. Forrest was kind enough to give me access to it, and I read them all through and through. Just amazing breakdowns, plus all the indicators, plus the Discord. It's something really, really special. And it's not one of those things where all you see on someone's Twitter is, oh, we called this 2 days ago and everyone made money. No, it's like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. And then usually no one bats 1,000. Well, usually it works out pretty much the way the research paper says, and it's broken down. So big shout out there. Excited to do that giveaway. So big thank you to Forrest. So make sure you tune in on Monday. Also, if you want to tune into more Forrest, visit his YouTube channel. We're going to put the link in the description of this video. Forrest does do TA on his YouTube channel, Sistine Research. Also, go follow him on Twitter at Sistine Research. That is his Twitter handle. While you're there, go follow us as well at Sin City Crypto 1. And remember, guys, we are taking portfolio submissions over the weekend. Either join the Discord and throw it in there or DM us on Twitter. You don't have to tell us how much money it is. Just we need percentages, and just tell us briefly what the goal of your portfolio is. And we'll pick one lucky winner and we will rate your portfolio live. So we're excited for that. What else, Forrest? You got anything exciting going on in your weekend? I know you usually say your wife makes the plans, but does she ever fill you in on the plans? Maybe a few hours before or a day before? My wife doesn't.
No, I mean, but honestly, by the time I get to Friday, I'm just, I don't know. I think we'll probably go out to dinner, either tonight or tomorrow. That's usually the play. She is getting to the point where she's 7 months pregnant. We've got a little one on the way, as you know, and it's getting down to crunch time. So we have been working on the nursery and whatnot. So that's been kind of taking up our weekends recently. But
congratulations, dude!
Times.
I don't think you've ever said that on this channel. I don't think you were public.
No, I haven't. Actually, I don't even think I've said it on my channel. Just I'm generally a fairly private person. I don't post videos all over social media apart from TA. So we're very excited. We're very blessed, and it's getting to the exciting time frame. 1 or 2 more months to go, and he'll be here.
That's awesome, man. That's exciting. I heard so you're having a boy. I heard you're naming him David. Is this true? Kidding.
Stop it.
Maybe we could
Stop it.
we could work that into the middle name. I'll talk to my wife.
No, please don't. Please don't. So congratulations, man. Guys, we do want to give one last shout out to our channel sponsors, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, big thank you to Radix, the top layer 1 DeFi in our space. If you want to play in their sandbox and learn more about their ecosystem, visit radixdlt.com. There is links in the description for both sponsors of this video. With that being said, Rocco,
Yeah, how do you want to play this?
don't mess it up this time, bro.
That wasn't me. It was a tornado.
That was Forrest Tornado, so you're playing with Forrest now.
it was his tornado. I don't know.
It's okay, Forrest. I feel like me and you are on a team, and then Rocco
Maybe
and
if
Robin
you do
are
it
on a team.
together. Maybe.
Just so you know, if there ever comes time for a tag team match in the wrestling ring, Rocco and Robin versus David and Forrest, we're going to kick y'all asses, bro.
I don't know.
Forrest, state champ. Me,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm big, right? Got some mass on me. Rocco, sorry, but man bun, not feeling it.
Can it be
Robin,
can it be
little Rob.
me and Forrest against you and Rob?
No, you and Robin are boys, remember?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, Rocco.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Big thank you to Forrest for joining us all week. We appreciate you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Come back Monday for more Sin City Crypto. On behalf of all of us here, we love you guys. Peace.
Crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting folks